What's going on, guys? So quickly, I just wanted to come on here because now it is getting crazy. It's getting juicy. Bombs are dropping. I'm not surprised because most of our Hollywood movies are contrived from real life events or fantasy, but it comes from somewhere. So when we see those dark films of billionaires doing shit, crazy shit, like I'm trying to think of the one movie where it was called I forget what the fuck it's called. I wish I could remember what it's called, but it's basically like the billionaires have all these regular people come into a room with a chance to win $1 million or something like that, and if the person does, if the person survives, and it's like all of these people sitting around a table and they get cards and shit, and the cards have on them a prompt of something you have to do or whatever, something crazy like stab your eye out or something like that, and it's like that's probably something that's, I mean, 9 times out of 10, if someone has done it, someone of wealth, power, status, behind closed doors, with power over politicians, police. I mean, if you have power over police and shit like that, and you tell them like, hey, I don't want you to patrol around my house, or whatever the case was, whatever the case is, because people can be raw, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, why do we pretend like everything is white and well-rounded? People aren't good. You know, money corrupts all, power corrupts all. It's just a tale as old as time, and people keep acting so like abysmal and surprised, like, oh my god, like y'all literally allowed them to pull a cloud over your eyes for this long. Like, you gotta always be aware and vigilant. I mean, even I have dark thoughts. It's like, if I have dark thoughts, then the next person, no matter how pearly and squeaky clean they may be, we all have dark thoughts, and we all have to realize that there are people who act on those dark thoughts. So it's not far-fetched to believe that this shit is, I mean, we have literally the guy who, and I need to get the names and everything, because the guy who created who had a hand in creating the Simpsons, he is a Freemason, and they are literally on a streak of predicting things that have happened on the world stage of the U.S. in any account, you know. And it's just like this gag and joke where whoever this architects, the I guess ultimate director, because this is like the ultimate film on display. This is literally one big ass show. We now know that Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell who had hands in like orchestrating all of this shit. Like, it's so sick, it's so crazy, but it's just like, I'm not entirely surprised, and that's not me giving in or capitulating to anything that's going on, but that's just okay, yeah, now we need to get and dig deeper and get these motherfuckers up out of here, because there's a lot of people that's in it and they're not gonna do anything. It's so, unless we put pressure and try to find, it's just whoever the puppet master is, it's so hard to find. It's just like, it can be anybody, you know what I'm saying? Anybody, a shadow person, a person you've never known, a person who could be orchestrating through another person that's orchestrating through another person that's orchestrating through another person, a person who's so careful you would never catch them, a person that's so careful, like, people, like, you don't know who it is, you don't know what it is. It could possibly not even be on this continent. Like, people are reaching and grasping at straws, but what they should be worrying about now is going after the people that are named and digging into them and then digging into them. But who can we trust to do something like that? Are we going to keep allowing the people who have been, that's like going to work. That's like going to work and the boss and you is beefing. And then you go to the boss's right hand to try and talk about the boss. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like that. It's like, how do you go to the problem about the problem? I mean, if we can't even trust the government, if presidents are on islands and partying it up and doing all this crazy shit and making back alley deals with other countries and stuff, then why the fuck would I put my faith that they could then orchestrate themselves when it's that deep? If it's deep to the point where it involves other governments, like, it's just, those ties just don't instantly become severed because information is made public. It just disguises itself a lot harder and it changes its identity like a chameleon. You know what I'm saying? Like, and when it's a network of people, it's really difficult to track. You know what I'm saying? You got, it's just it goes so deep. It's just like it's crazy that it took this for people to wake up. I mean, this shit is blatant. Like, when they made all those crazy ass movies, I've yet to watch Eyes Wide Shut. I've always been into conspiracy theories, but that's just a movie I never got a chance to watch. The only reason I'm breaking that up is because I was recently watching someone talk about that, and I've never watched that movie, but I've heard about it, and I've seen it on YouTube for rent. So I might actually sit and, since I have today and tomorrow off, I might actually sit and watch that. But yeah, this is crazy. It's crazy. I mean, just throw them all in jail. Hang them all, actually. Hang their ass. We shouldn't even be supporting them anymore. Hang them, and we gotta move on. We gotta move on. We gotta scream. We gotta look for people who, why do we keep picking people who already have ties to people in power or wealth, people who cannot relate to us, people who are not from our situation, people who have no affiliation to wealth, people who have no affiliation to power, people who have no affiliation to affiliations of people in power who know that, who know, yeah. And then when you see that that's not possible, because in order to be in a position of power, you have to have connections, and in order to run land on any continent, any super leader is going to want that person to orchestrate in a way that works in their favor. No matter what the government's laws are, they're bent all the time behind closed doors. Those laws are meant for the general public to orchestrate in a manner that allows them to do what they want to do. That is simple, plain, and cut. That is how it is. But it's hard. It's a hard pill for people to swallow, because walking around with that chip on your shoulder, like, damn, like, I'm literally a prisoner. Like, it's slavery never stopped, and we're prisoners. And if you do not work, then you will be punished. You will be punished if you do not work. That is. If you do not, you are a battery for this system, the beast system. Unless you are willing to fend for yourself like the animal that you are amongst the wild, not with the wild animals, because you a wild animal too. Unless you are willing to join your brothers and sisters in the wild, then you need to shut the fuck up, because there's nothing you can do. So let me stop. No, that's not really nice to say, but I mean, that's just, I don't know how else plainly to put it. It's just like, bro, like, power is just the only way to overcome. And only somebody it's going to take someone with power, and power being someone who has the power of the people and is an actual good natured person who's going to actually put the interests of the people before themselves and their compatriots and whoever donates to them or whatever the case may be. It's going to, I mean, I feel it could be Kamala Harris. I feel like it could be Kamala Harris as president of the United States. I think that she's the obvious, or Michelle Obama, but I actually don't really, I don't know. I like Kamala Harris. I think that she has a really nice personality. I feel like she's definitely it's like a Gemini, where it's two sides. She switches on and off. Very intelligent, very well spoken, I should say. From what I know, I feel comfortable when she talks, and I don't know. It's just going to take a because it doesn't even have to be her. It doesn't have to be, because it's another popular name. You know what I'm saying? And anybody who can, I get it, not take life too serious, but anybody who can be super jovial in times of, such unrest, I also don't like. Because I can also laugh in the face of, but I mean, sometimes it's not real, but I just want it to be somebody who is genuinely in it for the people. And it's so hard because we all have needs, we all have wants, we all have desires, and they're not entitled to want and need and have what they desire. That's not a bad thing. I get it. As a human being, we have a lot of wants, and sometimes those wants are against the grain. And if you can do it and get away with it, and not get caught and not hurt anybody, okay. But if it involves hurting people, then yes, you should pay the consequences for that. But I just don't understand. I mean, I do understand. I do understand. Actually, I understand very well. But and I don't mean that in a weird way, but I understand human curiosity, because it plays and I'm speaking from a psychologist's perspective, because I did go to school for psychology, even though I didn't end up being a therapist. But it's I don't know all the technical terms and everything, because I didn't finish, but I know people very well. I know myself because I know about myself very well. And once you know yourself very well, and you're very comfortable in your own skin and in your own space, and you're good at observing others, that's also another thing from it. And it also stems from childhood trauma as well, which I still am today and will continue to for the rest of my life deal with. One of those, that observing trait of mine comes from early childhood. So I'm always observing characteristics of people and just the things that they do, and it's just I don't understand how people even allow this class. But I mean, it happened. And yeah, this is crazy. It's crazy, but at the same time, it's only crazy because it's like the movies we are now seeing that all those dark films and all those movies are become true, because somebody high up has a really deep fetish, because we all have fetishes. Everybody has a fetish of some sort. It may not be a super sexual fetish like you're thinking, but there's a fetish of some sort. And some fetishes run really crazy. I mean, we've seen dark movies. We've seen very dark movies. Movies like Taken. We've seen movies like what's the one I'm thinking of? The Hostel 1, 2, 3. We've seen the movie, all types of movies, all types of them. I'm a horror addict. I just can't think right now because I'm just going off top of the dome. I literally am supposed to be working out right now, but I just wanted to talk on camera. But we've seen the movies, and if The Simpsons can predict has been predicting for years things in politics or world news or whatever the case may be, and that can be run, and the person's a Freemason, and we know about Freemasons and how they have this like secret cult of world founders and all this crazy shit and the rituals and the fucking little temples that they have in every city across the globe, and or at least in the US, and it's crazy. Like, it's just like when you see these movies and you see these plots and you're like, okay, well, what the fuck was this person thinking? I love how sick it is, because something in me loves that stimulation, that dark stimulation. And does that make me a crazy person? No, because well, yes, it does make me a sick individual, but I'm not out here fucking raping people and kidnapping people and committing murders and all of this crazy shit, and a child fucker and fantasizing about fucking kids and shit. I'm not a crazy ass fucking person, a sick ass person. So I just love that. You know what it was? Conditioning. Because from an early age, that's what it is, conditioning. Because from an early age, my parents had me watching horror movies with them. So that's what it was. Being conditioned to, in becoming desensitized to horror films is what makes me gravitate towards them and not see them as and it actually is kind of like a recipe. It can be a recipe for a serial killer. It can be. Because my sister calls me psychotic all the time, but that's just because I'm a pseudo-psychotic and have really dark sense of humor and have ADHD all in one person, and I have that with a little bit of childhood trauma. But I'm insane because my grandma's sane and she helped raise me for most of my life. So I'm not a fucking serial killer, not a child fucker, not a crazy person, not a sicko. So I can identify, but I'm really good at observing people, and I have a really large family. I have 8 siblings, 9 of us. So I think I'm really good at observing people and seeing things and noticing little weird things, you know what I'm saying? Like, versus a motherfucking it's just so crazy. It's so funny, you know. It's so funny to see from, like, people don't make it hard for me to wonder what it would be like to be them. Or they don't make it hard for me to realize what it would be to, because when you're good at observation and you're good at viewing things in a third person perspective outside of yourself, or putting yourself in someone else's shoes, not that you can physically do that, because I don't think anyone, if they were to walk in my shoes, because that statement is so vague. Because when you say, oh, what do you mean by walk in my shoes? Do you mean by embody my emotions as well? What I mean is, if you could embody my emotions as well, then you would understand that when 9 times out of 10, when I'm complaining or I'm going through something, it's self-manufactured, and I know when I'm hurt and I just want to vent about bullshit. And that's just the truth, because a lot of the time, a lot of our ailments, they're really contrived, you know, superficial shit. You know what I'm saying? So, or you would see my bigotry, my hate, the deep stuff that people don't like to let out, because then it becomes apparent. Like, for example, how I unnaturally have a hate towards white people, white guys, because there is an air of ignorance, an air of arrogance, and I associate that with the fact that I have been raised in a in this society, current society, current existence in time, where that particular aesthetic happens to be preferred over mine, because of my skin complexion and the fact that I have a more coarse beard, and the fact that You know what I'm saying? I'm stockier build, and you know, it's just a lot of preconceived notions come with that. I was born into this life equipped in a class that I never got a chance to choose, and that is a RPG reference. But I got placed in a class that I never got a chance to choose, and people are judging me and they don't know anything about me, but the race that is perceived to be at the top, because I don't perceive it to be that way, because me and a white guy, we shit the same, we do the same shit. You know what I'm saying? We're both the same thing. Strip away money, strip away all the credit score, all that shit. Strip away everything, and we are the same thing. You know, knuckle to knuckle. I mean, one of us might be stronger, but there's nothing I can't do that he can't do. You know what I'm saying? Physically, you know, our bodies are capable or should be capable of doing the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Down to our anatomy. I can make a fire, he can make a fire. You know what I'm saying? My brain might allow me to think a little bit differently than his does, because our wiring might be a little bit different based on what happened in our lineage. But that's a whole other video, because this video is going to be very long if I continue down this path. But this is how deep I think it goes sometimes when I talk about my sister. But I say all that to say, because I'm low-key losing, I lost where I was going, because I go off on a tangent and I'm trying to reclaim where I was. But I think that I kind of started this video talking about how crazy everything was, and how I was not surprised by how dark these people are, in the fact that they played in faces for a very long time, and they've been doing this for a very long time, because these kind of movies have been made for a very long time. So whoever made them got the ideas from somewhere, and whoever got the ideas from had to have been approved by someone. So yeah, you gotta take it for what it is. You know, either the person has just had a really dark thoughts, or the person enacted on those thoughts, and whether or not they're good at hiding it will determine whether or not we will ever figure that out. You know what I'm saying? Whether or not people want to. That's why curiosity killed the cat, because the more you want to know, the worse things are. You know what I'm saying? And yes, we all want justice, and we all want to get to the truth of the matter. However, the deeper you go, being as though justice is on the end of the line, how far are you willing to go to uphold justice, and how many pens are you willing to knock over? Because you can't knock one down and then not do the other, because the other will end up pulling the plug, you know, because then that just exposes that, you know what I'm saying, top dog can do whatever the fuck they want. So where are we at? Because that's kind of where I'm trying to figure it out, because we have all of this information and nothing is happening. So does that mean that we can just put it out there that certain people can do things that other people can't, and that we are all the same, and that these people are no different than us, and that also see, I have so many videos I want to make, but I think I'll stop this one here. I don't really think that there was a point, but I think, well, there wasn't really a point to be made, but it was kind of me just explaining my understanding of the situation, and kind of explaining everything going on right now, how crazy it is, and how a lot of the movies that we've seen, a lot of the dark movies that we've seen are based in truth, and these people are crazy. They're crazy. They're actually crazy. The people who make your favorite horror movies are the villains. And I don't know what we expected. I didn't expect anything less, you know. However, if you can run fast enough, then bitch, run.